Hello everyone. Today I'm going to start explaining you Matlab from basics. So the first thing which you do in Matlab is you open, obviously you need to have the Matlab installed in your system, and then you click it and you open it. So there are two places where basically you work in Matlab. One is your command window, which is this area, which is written as command window. And the another one is that you click on it, new script, and then something like this appear. Like you start programming in your C language also. So first of all, we will do the work which we can do on command window directly. So there are one thing which you need to remember is that in some softwares, some versions of MATLAB, you will find that this when you instead of your new script, the thing is file save. So if I have to save this, I have to remember certain things that the I'll not save it with a number. So if I will save it with a number, then it's a problem. I'll not save it with the, so if I say save as with, let's say 1, 2, 3, and then it will be, the extension will be and maybe you can use your name. That's my name is Vipin, and then I can use 1 2 something with it, and then I can save it. So it will save and it will be able to run the program. But if I will use numbers, some like and all those things, in that case, the problem will be that the thing which you are going to do, it will run, maybe it will run the program, but you will not be able to get the output, or maybe you will not be able to get the desired output. Okay, and this is the place from where you run a program. So but before coming to all this, let's start with something we need to do on your command window. Let's start from here. So for command window, so big screen of command window. So the best one thing is that the MATLAB basically stores the things in the form of a matrix. So the smallest matrix we know is a matrix with one row and one column. So let's say I'm starting 1 1. So if I'll type, then it will store as x is equals to 1 1. If I'm typing x is equals to 1 semicolon 1 comma 2, you can see that it will take it to the another line. That means 2 rows, 2 columns. So this semicolon is used to define end of line. So whatever the value comes after it will come into the next line. So x is, let's say you have to define a matrix of 2, 3. So you will say semicolon, let's say 4, 5, 6. So if you are providing a tab between them, then that means it's a different number. 7, 8, 9. So x is your this. Now suppose you have another number. Let's say you want to store all the elements of the matrix equals to 0. Then how you will enter? Let's say x equals to zeros. because we are going to use this. So it will be 1 comma 1, then it will be 1 column 1 row. Then suppose you can, this is another thing which you know, if you want to use the history of MATLAB, you can use the up and down arrows keys, and then you can say like this. Then it's basically 1 row 2 columns. If you want to make a matrix of 2 into 2, then it will be like this. Now instead of zeros, if you will write ones, then everything similar to this will happen in terms of ones. So all the elements of the matrix will be 1. Now if we have, let's say, numbers in the form of a matrix, and I have one matrix, let's say x is there, let's say y is equals to 2 2 3 3. So you need to do the normal matrix multiplication, and you need to try these two operators. So there are two operators, x co y, and then another one is x dot star. Now if you see, there's a difference. When we are doing x star y, then it's basically multiplying them using the normal multiplication way, in which you multiply first row with first column and you add them. So it's 1 into 2 and 1 into 3. So it's 5. So it's coming as 5 here. Okay. And the similar is true for all of them. And in this one, x dot star y, it's doing multiplication of elements. So the first row, or in the first element of the first matrix, is getting multiplied with first element of this matrix. So it's 1 into 2, so it's 2. Then this one, 1 into 2, it's 2. 1 into 3, so it's 3. So this is the difference between the normal multiplication and the, can say, when you are using dot star y. Okay. Now suppose you have a number, let's say x equals to say 5, and you are doing y equals to x. This, the number, you have to use shift and then you have to type 6 on your keypad. So if you are using x star 2, you will see that there will be a difference. If you are using number, so this means that you are doing the square of the number. So it's basically a power function. This a kind of a flying bird sign. It's a power function. Then if I have another number, z equals to, let's say, 4, and I write y equals to x this z. So because these two are constants and they have only one number, so if you want to use two different variables and you want to use this, then it will work in this way. Now suppose I'm again using my this y equals to this, and I use z equals to y this 2. Then I can square the elements of the matrix. suppose I say so whatever the value of x, the x is, if you see, it's 5. So you can use this command for the purpose of squaring or whatever the means cubing, or you raise to the power 4. So whatever the raise to the power, it will provide you the answer of that. So these are the small general commands which you use in MATLAB for the matrix. Now suppose I want to add two matrices. So if suppose I have Z as this one and X is equals to, let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to add these two numbers. So the addition is, can say X plus Z. So if I'll say X plus Z, it will directly add these two numbers. If I say X minus Z, the addition is also, so X from X you will subtract Z. If I'll say Z minus X, then you can see that numbers will be positive. So in this way you can do the addition, subtraction and multiplication in matrix, the normal way of doing, except that dot which you need to remember. Okay, that there's another effect of power function. Suppose here we are saying, let's say n is equals to minus 2 to 2. I'll come to this definition of n also again. So this is this, and I am saying y is equals to 2 raised to the power n. We'll see that this is going to give you an error, and the reason is that your raised to the power function, or the number raised to the power, is a matrix and this is a constant. So here, instead of using 2 raised to the power n, if you use dot n, then you will see that you are getting the number 2 raised to the power n. So when it's minus 2, means 2 raised to the power minus 2, that means 1 divided by 4, that is 0.25. And when it's raised to the power minus 1, it's 1 by 2. Raised to the power 0 means 1. Raised to the power 1 is 2. Raised to the power 2 is 4. So the power function, when your numerator is a matrix, then you have to use this power operator. Means you have to use dot here again. Now the one thing which I said to you, that if you want to define some range, so if I say minus 2 colon 2, so the default difference between the two numbers, adjacent numbers, is 1. So if I want to make it, means I want to control it, so the default difference between two numbers that will be taken by in MATLAB will be 1. So if I want to make, suppose it 0.5, then I have to mention it 0.5 and another colon. So whatever your value you want to change, you will put it here. So you want to make it a difference of, let's say, 0.5, then if you want to change it to let's say 3, then you will again write it. So it will start working in that way. Another thing about it is that, suppose you mentioned here a gap of 3 and you write your last number here as 6. So you will see that this is some kind of funny thing happen here. The last number should be 6, but the answer here is coming is 4, and the reason for this is the first number is minus 2. So now the MATLAB adds 3 to your -2. So it becomes 1. Then it adds 3 to it, it becomes 4. So the 4 is within this range. But when it adds another 3 to it, it is 7. So 7 is not there. So that's why 4 is the last number it will display. So the MATLAB basically runs the things till it's possible for it to run. And after which if it feels that no, that thing is not available, then it moves to, it provides you the previous number on which it can jump. Okay, so this is the first explanation of the basics of MATLAB, and then I'll post you more programming of MATLAB in detail.